Hey everybody, Max Monster here, back with Marvel Heroes. I got Deadpool here again, and I'm gonna do another little redo because I keep changing some things. I got a couple redos on the list. Deadpool is one of them because it's really a big change, which made me rethink of how I want to do them, and it actually simplifies how I want to do them. So I don't have to hit as many buttons. I don't have as many buttons. I get rid of one or two buttons and keep the same kind of damage output through a different means. And so what the big change was is on more bullets here, they added a damage rating to range powers. And it doesn't sound like a big thing, but I get to play with it in a different way. And this is what's happening here. So let's do the build first. And the build's going to be obviously superior healing factor. I mean, anything we're going to do with Deadpool is going to need that. You're always going to want 1 point, at least for me, power-ups, 1 point in God mode, and 1 point in body slide by 1. Unless you're not 30 yet. You can actually do this build pre-30, which is a nice factor. And you'd probably be using like stop, drop, and roll or some other kind of movement ability. Bringing up the other movement option, you can go with Awesome Lunge of Death if you want to go with that movement speed damage bonus there. It's only 200 damage bonus, and you could probably squeeze it to 300 the way the build is. But I don't think you're going to get much more unless you get some good lucky drops or the way I don't have all his uniques yet, and I haven't really looked at them on the TC. So unless there's some really good bonuses there, I don't know if you can actually squeeze tons of extra damage out of that. But anyways, that's the 1-pointers. That's all you're going to have to worry about for 1-pointers. But we got our superior healing factor, our 1-pointer power-ups, God mode, body slide by 1. We're going to go Stink Bomb. I'm only level 50, and I did all the quests, so I have more than extra points. So I don't have to worry about the order that I want to do in. However, if you are lacking points, the last thing you're going to spend it on is actually going to be Foot Gougers. Or you can actually make the last thing you spend it on Stink Bomb. Stink Bomb does more damage. Foot Gougers does more crowd control. Actually, the last thing I spend it on is Stink Bomb then, because the slow and attack speed is pretty huge on bosses. It's nice to have. But we're going to take safety through stabbing because it's going to net a massive amount of defense and dodge. It says immunity here. I don't know what you gain immunity to, but we'll see what happens there. And this is actually called Meleepool, and the build's Meleepool +2 because it's the second iteration of it. And he likes all his little pluses, just like in Dungeons and Dragons. And so we're going to take Flesh Wound, and that's going to be not a main damage dealer, but it's going to be our main basic attack on the boss or on heavy targets, basically. And then the final two are going to be more bullets, like I said. And we're going to tie that in. As you can see, at 18, I'm getting 500 damage rating. And around this level, that's going to be somewhere around 15% extra damage. And that's going to account towards Stink Bomb, which is ranged, and our Foot Gouger, which is ranged. And that's how we're going to get the extra damage. Instead of going with Big Ol' Stab, which would net a pretty big increase of damage, we're going to sacrifice Big Ol' Stab, pick up the crit rating, which isn't a lot. But most importantly, pick up the damage rating to the range powers, and we're going to get beefier AoE abilities on Stink Bomb and Foot Gougers, and make the button mashing a lot easier on us by getting rid of a Big Ol' Stab. And that's the build. So you got superior healing factor, Stink Bomb, Flesh Wound, safety through stabbing, more bullets, and Foot Gougers. And it doesn't sound like a Meleepool, but it's a Meleepool. So all you have to do is accept it. I put body slide over here. My main thing that I do is Foot Gougers first. There are a couple reasons. The Stink Bomb takes a second to land. Even at point blank range, it doesn't go off right away. Where Foot Gougers is in effect immediately, even though it takes a second to land on the ground. So, that slow is awesome. the stink bomb, where enemies start taking extra damage, comes in handy too. So that's going to play into effect too. All your damage just increased by 10%. So I have my body slide, I have my flesh wound, I have those, and I need my superior healing factor to use as a proc-based system. Server lags tied up on the keyboard. My medkits are on the keyboard should I actually need them. The only thing else out there that I drop every now and then are power-ups. And I usually use power-ups in tricky situations. So this just made boss fights a lot better because if you don't happen to have the setup that I have myself set up pretty well for life regeneration. I obviously have a pretty high life steal core, so I went with all life on the suit. I have a lot of life coming in with basic power on the guns with no name. I have the Lumeria, so I got more life coming in that way. Life regen coming in from here. Spirit regen coming in from the PIMs shrinking. That's relying a lot on dodge, even though I don't have a massive amount of dodge. I actually have to hit something for the dodge to show. It's 28% dodge chance. So, 1 in 4 attacks I'm going to dodge. And that's going to give me some extra crit rating. I'm at 24%. This will probably put me to 30-ish. It starts really going down, so it's not going to give me another 24%, but it will give me probably 35, 34, maybe 10%. I'll get off that. And then obviously I'll be getting 60 spirit every 4 attacks incoming. Even though I'm slowing down those attacks, it's alright. That's more than enough spirit to come in, because I only have to lay these down every 5 seconds. These are perfectly timed into each other. So after about 2 seconds I start regenerating spirit on my own, and that's another tie-in that's going to come in with more bullets, where I regenerate another 9 spirit a second before I'm spending spirit again, because I'm using Flesh Wound as my spam attack. These are all AoE that just lay them down. Unless the guy's moving around a lot, I won't need it. Unless I'm burning power-ups, I also won't need it. But if I am burning power-ups, the PIMS is going to keep me happy, and it will keep me sustained. I got a good amount of spirit anyways. I'm using Dr. Octopus's. I'm using Dr. Octopus's because everything is area effect. My Flesh Wound is hitting a massive, massive wide arc, as you can see. If I take it off, it'll hit, oops, wrong one. It'll hit a smaller arc. If I put it back on, it's a bigger arc. So that's going to help me with like blue packs, and if there's yellow packs I come across, or like the big packs of yellows and the brownstones, things like that. 4 packs of bosses in Midtown, X Defense, where you get big groups of things. It'll help a little bit there, but it's also going to make the AoE of Stink Bomb and the AoE of Foot Gougers bigger. And you can increase that even more with a Power Prism Shard if you wanted to. That's one I'm considering using also. And other than that, I'm going with uniques, and I'll look for the rest of the uniques. Even though I have high health regen with superior healing factor, and I get the burn for the active effect, I still go with hit points and hit point regeneration and spirit on gear. And of course, special item find and rare item find. And that's the build, so we'll go do something here. Let's see, that's good for level 50. Well, Kingpin would be good. What level is my metal? 49. Let's see if we get a 49 Kingpin again. I need the shard anyway. This will be wicked easy. So for trash, you can stab if you want. They'll die pretty easily in this. As you can see, if I throw the stink bomb, it takes a second to go off. The Foot Gougers is instantaneous. It's already hitting damage. So that's why I always do the Foot Gougers. So there's that stink bomb. It's got that long delay. It's really good on bosses, though. Really, I'm just dropping the gougers to do the damage on the blues. Finish off the whites, let them come to me. I'm going to sit here and dodge and get some spirit back up. I think they put a 2-second internal cooldown on it, but it still doesn't matter. It's like 70 spirit. It's massive amounts. And this boss will be real easy because he sits still. Basically every 5 seconds I just drop the AoE again. And it's just a time he's gonna die. It's that easy. And it's pretty much that easy with anything else with this build. That's how it works. If you get any kind of danger, you teleport out, you wait for the danger to go away, you teleport back. If they're going to do some kind of shooting thing like Doom, you just go back behind him and you keep hitting him. You can go away from them because you're leaving all this AoE and you're slowing their movement speed and they're taking extra damage. They just get eaten away and you're putting this bleed up. It's not a huge bleed, but you know, it's still 2,000 a second. This is 10, 12,000 a second. This is 7,000 a second. So you're getting 21,000 damage a second just from bleeds, and this is at level 50 with, you know, okay gear. And that's Meleepool +2. Much simpler. Didn't even use power-ups, but you can get a lot of extra damage out of the power-ups. Plus 15% attack speed, plus 450 damage rating. I mean, they pay out really well against a little bit tougher of a spot and get some more health regen. But that's it. So hope it helped. Hope you guys enjoyed. I'll talk to you all later.